18th of October 2023. Welcome to Somalia's premium #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight we have a lot in store for you, but first have a look at some of our top stories. Kenya Defense Secretary arrives in Mogadishu for crucial anti-Al-Shabaab meeting. From teaching to terror, who is an estranged Somali lecturer that has defected to Al-Shabaab? Somalia turns down Ethiopia's appeal for Red Sea port talks. Israel air raid on Al Ahli Arab hospital kills 500, Palestinian health officials say. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. Upon his arrival at the Aden International Airport, Kenya Defense Secretary Aden Duale and his delegation were warmly welcomed by his Somali counterpart Abdul Qadir Mohammed Noor, along with other prominent ministers and lawmakers. The CS also met with Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. Upon his arrival at Aden International Airport, Secretary Duale and his delegation were warmly welcomed by his Somali counterpart Abdul Qadir Mohammed Noor, along with other prominent ministers and lawmakers. This reception underscored the importance and seriousness of the discussions that will take place during the visit. The centerpiece of Secretary Duale's visit was meeting with President of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, at the presidential office in Mogadishu. The two leaders engaged in extensive talks, emphasizing the need for closer cooperation and acceleration of joint operations to eliminate Al-Shabaab. The group has posed significant threats not only to Somalia, but also neighboring countries including Kenya. Secretary Duale's visit comes in the wake of his recent remarks regarding the withdrawal of the Kenyan troops from Somalia. In an address to the Senate 2 weeks ago, Minister Duale announced that the Kenyan Defense Forces will complete their withdrawal from Somalia by the 31st of December 2024. He further explained that Kenya had initiated the first withdrawal of the troops from Somalia in April 2021 in accordance with the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia. To date, 400 soldiers from Ethiopia, Uganda and Kenya out of the 2,000 ATMIS soldiers have already left Somalia as part of the ongoing withdrawal process. Additionally, 200 from Djibouti and 600 from Burundi have also departed. While Kenya is in the process of withdrawing its troops, it still remains one of the countries contributing forces to ATMIS. Kenya Defense Forces maintains bases in Jubaland Regional Administration, reaffirming the nation's commitment to regional security and stability. Now an interesting story here. Nageye Khalif, a prominent university lecturer and a celebrated poet, has found himself at the center of controversy that has captivated the Somali population both at home and abroad. Here is an intriguing story of an estranged lecturer whose name is even a mystery. Renowned Somali poet and university lecturer defects to Al-Shabaab, sparking heated debate among Somalis. Nageye Ali Khalif, a prominent university lecturer and celebrated poet, has found himself at the center of controversy that has captivated the Somali population, both at home and abroad. From the onset, friends that knew Nageye argue that his real name is Mustafa Muhammad Ali, and Nageye Ali is a profile he created during his stint in Ethiopia. Accusations have emerged suggesting that Khalif has recently defected to Al-Shabaab militant group, a development that has sent shockwaves through the country as it continues to fight the militant group on various fronts with the support of the US Africa Command and the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia. Khalif, known for his contributions to literary and educational spheres, is believed to have been collaborating with Al-Shabaab for some time now. In addition to his role as a lecturer at the Somali National University, he has been recognized as a leading poet and a champion of the Somali language. He also played a vital role in training aspiring journalists and media practitioners from the university in Mogadishu. The news of Khalif's alleged defection prompted swift action from the government, with President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud signing a letter that dismissed the rector of the Somali National University, Dr. Hassan Omar Mahdallah, and appointed Dr. Hassan Osman Gaal as the acting rector. The Minister of Education, Farah Sheikh Abdul Qadir, has instructed the university to cooperate with the acting rector, according to the letter dated October 15, 2023. Interior Minister Ahmed Muallim Fiqi expressed deep concern over Khalif's defection, particularly considering his association and interaction with public figures, including senior government officials. Minister Fiqi also asserted that Somalis are lucky Nageye never put his extremist ideologies into effect and believed himself in public gatherings. Sources close to the matter claim that Khalif recently published book, The Badwareg, hinted at his admiration for al-Shabaab's ideology. In the literature, he detailed his visit to areas controlled by the group, where he claimed to have been warmly received by its members. Shockingly, the book also featured pictures of Khalif with high-ranking government officials, including President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, former Prime Minister Hassan Ali Khaire, former Deputy Prime Minister Mahdi Guled, and Senate Speaker, suggesting a troubled connection between Khalif and the political establishment. Insiders who requested anonymity revealed that Khalif once harbored ambitions of running a parliamentary seat in the previous elections, opposing Somalia's first female Prime Minister and former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Fawzia Yusuf Adam. They alleged that former President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo had lobbied for Khalif's candidacy, but his bid was ultimately thwarted with the intervention of former Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble, who assumed the responsibility for the country's security during the elections and threw support behind Adam, leading her to victory. A source within the university disclosed that Khalif had taught approximately 1,500 students in media studies at the Somalia National University, highlighting the significant influence he wielded over aspiring journalists. Born in 1982 in Borao City, Togdel region, Khalif received primary and secondary education in Hargeisa. He obtained his first degree in political science from the New Generation University in Addis Ababa in 2014 and went on to pursue a second degree in journalism from another university in the Ethiopian capital. In his early years, Khalif dabbled in literature, although he kept his works hidden from the public view. For the past few years, he resided in Mogadishu and served as the Dean of Journalism faculty at the Somali National University. Those who knew Khalif personally described him as an unwavering and resolute individual. In December 2018, he applied for a position at the BBC Somali service but was not selected. Abdullah Sheikh Abdirazak, the former editor of the BBC Somali, explained on his Facebook page that Khalif was not hired because he refused to refrain from expressing his political views on the breakaway region of Somaliland. Khalif insisted on retaining his controversial poetry while functioning as an independent journalist, which was incompatible with BBC's requirement for neutrality. Despite this setback, Abdirazak acknowledged Khalif's strong convictions. A recent revelation about Khalif has left the public with many questions and answers. Anonymous friends who spoke to Dalsan have claimed that he held anti-Ethiopian and anti-foreigner sentiments, which led to his exclusion from speaking engagements during Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's visit to Somalia during the previous administration, led by former President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo. Ironically, Nagia's extremist ideologies got him to even compare former al-Shabaab leader Ahmed Godane to the heroics of the late Somali freedom fighter and religious leader Sayyid Mohamed Abdullahi Hassan. Khalif reportedly welcomed Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan, stating similar aspirations for Somalia and expressing support for al-Shabaab militants in overthrowing the central government. He even composed poems that criticized the presence of ATMIS troops, who were assisting the Somali government in its fight against al-Shabaab. The allegations surrounding Nagia Khalif's defection to al-Shabaab have sent shockwaves through the Somali community. As the country continues its struggle against al-Shabaab group, this development raises vital questions about the influence of radical ideologies and the potential infiltration of key institutions. The Somali National University, in particular, now faces the challenge of regaining public trust and ensuring the safety of its students in the wake of this troubling revelation. Many are now asking themselves how the government intelligence unit failed to join the dots and decipher Nigeria's literature work coupled with these extremist views. A touching story there. Now we cross over to our border where a request from Ethiopia into negotiations for a Red Sea port was rejected by Somalia as a result of the three-decade war that preceded Eritrea's independence in 1983. Ethiopia lost direct access to the sea.
A request from Ethiopia to enter negotiations for a Red Sea port was rejected by Somalia as a result of the three-decade war that preceded Eritrea's independence, 1993. Ethiopia lost direct access to the sea. The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed warned last week that his country's inability to access a harbor could lead to a future conflict. He urged the government to address the issue to safeguard regional peace. State Minister for Foreign Affairs Ali Umar stated in a text message that while Somalia is highly committed to strengthening peace, security, trade, and integration, it is not interested in granting access to a port or other vital asset. Ethiopia has natural rights to have direct access to the Red Sea, according to Abiy, who stated this in a speech that was broadcasted on October 13th. If this right is denied, there will be no fairness and justice, and there is no fairness and justice. It's only a matter of time before we fight, he added. Prime Minister Abiy's remarks, according to Eritrea, were excessive, and they added that the fair has baffled all concerned observers. Abiy's position has been held for some time, albeit it has recently been expressed in a much more direct manner, according to Alexis Mohammed, senior advisor to Djiboutian President Ismail Omar Guelleh.
Israeli bombs have struck hospital compound in central Gaza, killing 500 people, including patients and displaced Palestinians sheltering inside, according to Gaza officials.
Israeli bombs have struck a hospital compound in central Gaza, killing 500 people, including patients and displaced Palestinians sheltering inside, according to Gaza officials. An Israeli air raid caused Wednesday's blast at the Al Ahli Arab Hospital in Gaza, the health ministry said. Israel blames the explosion on a misfired rocket launched by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. The attack quickly sparked international condemnation, as news outlets and social media were flooded with grotesque images of burning rooms and heavy stretchers. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East said on social media, "This is outrageous, and again it shows a flagrant disregard for the lives of civilians." Jordan's King Abdullah II, meanwhile, called the attack a massacre and a shame on humanity. The Gaza Health Ministry issued a statement explaining the hospital had served a vital role in offering shelter to civilians. The ministry said the hospital was housing hundreds of sick and wounded and people forcibly displaced from their homes. Tens of thousands of people have come to Gaza's overcrowded hospitals in search of safety from what appears to be relentless Israeli army shelling. Al Jazeera footage from the site showed doctors and citizens using white bags or blankets to rescue remains. Mustafa Barghouti, the political head of the Palestinian National Initiative, said to Al Jazeera that the hospital attack should make foreign leaders reconsider their support for Israel. Nobody in the world even attacks hospitals in any other country of the world, Barghouti said. Will they condemn this Israeli massacre? Will they condemn this Israeli behavior? They know they can stop Israel. They know they can restrain Israel. They are the ones who are giving weapons and money and support to these Israeli aggressors. He added that he felt civilian infrastructure was being deliberately targeted in Israeli attacks.
Lovely views. That unrendering story from the estranged Gaza Strip in Palestine brings us to the end of our bulletin. That's all we are prepared for you tonight from our desk in Mogadishu. I wish to thank all those who made this bulletin a success, and you, a lovely viewer, wherever you're watching us from. Have yourselves a lovely night.